What's up and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. This is an early premiere of Season 3, Episode 8, and the title of this episode is True Colors. And this is again an early premiere part 1, starting off with Avery and Omar. So the day has finally come for Avery to marry Omar. While getting ready, her mom tells her she wants things to work out for her daughter, but just wants to make sure that Avery knows all her concerns as a parent. When she tells Avery that she's her priority, Avery quickly interrupts saying, well, Omar's my priority now. He's my husband. This little girl just doesn't get it. It's only natural as a parent to want to protect your child. Even though you get older, I feel like your parents never stop worrying. They never stop caring or wanting to protect you. They want what's best for you. Avery is being very combative with her mother and not really listening. But her mother tells the camera crew her worst fear is Omar is just using Avery to get to the States, but says Avery is a grown woman and going to go forward with marrying Omar regardless. While Avery and her mom are talking, there's a knock on the door and it's Omar. He tells them that there's a problem. They need approval from an Islamic court before they can get married. This makes Avery upset because she says her mom came to Lebanon to see her get married. So when Omar delivers this news, Avery's mom is like, well, let's go get a taxi and go to the Islamic court. And Omar is just sitting there, not budging. He says that Terry may insult other Muslims. Let's move on to Darcey and Tom. So we all know Darcey straight up made a fool of herself, which is something that she tends to do often. However, they finally check into their rooms and Tom says the day was very stressful, adding, the twin thing. This is what he says. He says them arguing set a bad tone. Darcey says she understands, but she's seeing Stacy's demeanor with Florian and she thinks that she was prying for his attention. Tom tells Darcey it's not a competition. Darcey seems to think that Stacy was acting immature. When Tom told her, I think you are too, I was like, yes, tell her. I love the fact that he doesn't hold back and calls her out on her crap. Darcey tells Tom that she's very sorry and apologizes. Now, Tom tells Darcey she needs to sit down with her sister and tell her that the tit for tat is making him uncomfortable. So the next morning, Darcey goes to have a talk with her sister and she says that she feels bad and also she feels to blame for Tom not enjoying himself. She also says that she's starting to resent her sister. When Darcey tells Stacy Tom is uncomfortable, Stacy says maybe him acting this way is an excuse because he really is not feeling your vibe. She adds that she's seeing shades of Jesse with her new relationship. Darcey tells her sister her relationship is great and all, but she doesn't think that it's perfect. She just gets very defensive during this conversation and starts attacking her sister with her words. I do think that Stacy means well and wants the best for her sister. Let's move on to Timothy and Jennifer. So Timothy says that he and Jennifer are taking a really important step in their relationship and he's nervous about it. They're going to Jennifer's family's farm so Timothy can meet her father. Timothy believes that part of winning her over is impressing her father and getting him to accept him. Jennifer says that her father is the most important man in her life and she's super nervous to bring Tim around her dad. Now, her dad doesn't speak English but tells his daughter that he wants to see Timothy do some of the work that they do around the farm. Tim zips up his boots and gets ready. So her dad wants him to bathe the cattle for lice and fleas. If Jennifer wanted a strong, manly man, why did she entertain Timothy? That's all I want to know. They come from two completely different backgrounds. So moving on, they have Tim putting a B12 complex vitamin up this animal's butt, like up the animal's anus. Like, I don't know what was going on. I tried to like cover my eyes because all that, I just can't take all of that. He also wanted him to cut off this animal's balls. And I was just like, it's just really too much. Jennifer and her father take a walk and she wants to know his thoughts on Tim. Her father tells her that she needs to be careful and analyze things carefully, seeing as her first marriage didn't work. Let's move on to Rebecca and Zied. So Rebecca says that she has less than a week left in Tunisia, and although she's fallen more and more in love with Zied, the fact that his family is conservative makes it hard for her to open up to him completely. Even though she's not completely open and honest about her past, she feels the need to look into Zied's past. She FaceTimes her co-worker, who also is a PI, and her co-worker did a background check on Zied. Zied has no criminal history. He's 26 years old, never been married. And this news makes Rebecca happy until her coworker says that there's no job history listed. Zied told Rebecca that he's an audience coordinator for a television show. This is where it gets crazy. Rebecca says the last man she was married to was just 23 years old. This lady is messed up in the head, okay? To me, that is just too young in my opinion, because men mature slower than women, and I just don't see what she could have had in common with all the life experience that she's had. What could she have had in common with a 23-year-old? Someone who is probably around the same age as her kids, if not younger. It's just messed up. It's messed up on so many levels. Let's move on to Benjamin and Akinyi. So here they go again, showing Benjamin's hairy body. This man can get no privacy or bathroom breaks, I guess. So he's had a rough start since being in Kenya, but says that he received a text from Akinyi and she wants him to come to church with her and meet her father. He's nervous because he doesn't want a repeat of the family dinner. And when they arrived to the church on that moped, I was weak. I was done. All three men, the driver, her brother Fidel, and Benjamin, on this little small tail moped. Now, when he gets inside, he sees her father is a pastor. This whole church scene reminds me of when Tariq went to church with Hazel. So moving on, the elders of Akinyi's church must give their blessing of Benjamin, then her father will do the same. After church, when Benjamin tries to talk to Akinyi, she looks very uncomfortable and disinterested. I mean, that's just what I see. Benjamin says, "Do you miss me?" And Akinyi, she's like, "No. Yeah." So she then tells Benjamin he'll be meeting with her dad and the elders of her church. Benjamin says that he is definitely frustrated and tired of having surprises come up. Let's move on to Caesar. So Maria broke up with Caesar. We all know this. And he says that it feels like a nightmare. Knowing that she doesn't want to be with him, he is still texting her, telling her that he loves her. While in Mexico, he set up this romantic dinner so that he could propose to Maria. But since she's not there, he's having that dinner all alone. He says that it's an expensive dinner that's non-refundable. When the waitress mentions his fiance, Caesar told her that he was eating alone and that she didn't show up. The waitress, you could tell she felt so bad and she hurried up and left. She hurried up and got up out of there. So while he's sitting here having this dinner, a couple of people that he met approached him while he was eating, and you could tell that he was really embarrassed. But the lady, she was really sweet. She gave him a hug and told him that she's sorry about what happened to him. Caesar feels the reason that Maria didn't respond to him for those 3 days before her arrival is because she knew that that flight had been canceled and she didn't want to come anyway. from get-go. Let's move on to Angela and Michael. So Angela says all Michael has done is lie the whole 2 years of their relationship, and she's sick of it. She goes outside to smoke and decides to call Michael, saying that she's not ready to forgive him yet, but they need to talk. Michael answers the phone and has desperation written all over his face. She invites him to meet her at a restaurant for dinner. And Michael says that after her throwing that cake, he thought that it would be the end of the relationship. But receiving her call, he feels relieved. Michael and Angela deserve each other, okay? I can't respect someone who doesn't have any self-respect for themselves. Like, he doesn't even care that happened to him. He is so desperate to get to the States that he is allowing someone to be disrespectful to him, unkind, and humiliate him in front of everyone on national television. He doesn't even care about that. So later that night, Michael tells her that he was so happy she called and he's ready to listen to her. Just kissing her butt, basically. When Angela says that she's sorry for smashing the cake in his face, Michael says, no, it's okay. I deserve it. You're right, Michael. Yeah, you deserve it because you don't even care about yourself. You don't have any respect for yourself because that's how desperate you want to get your tail here to the States. So if you don't care, why in the world do I care? In the last recap, I was going off about how wrong, she was for doing that to him, but he doesn't even care. He feels he deserved it. So why should we care as the viewers about Michael? He's putting himself in this position. He's telling her that it's okay for her to treat him the way that she's treating him. So moving on, Angela says all of this stems from trust. Michael tells Angela, no baby, please don't quit on us. I love you, baby. And all of that. So I'm over it. They little unstable, dysfunctional relationship, whatever it is, it's a hot mess. They both a hot mess and they deserve each other. Moving on to Timothy and Jennifer. So Timothy is feeling very insecure and stressed. He doesn't know if he's impressing Jennifer or her family, and he decides to FaceTime his friend for some advice. His friend advises him to make a move on Jennifer, and Tim says that he tries and she pulls away or pushes him away, which is a lie. He hasn't even attempted to kiss her or anything, hold her hand, nothing. He'd rather have slumber parties and put on 24 karat gold face mask and, just have girl time. He's scared. Timothy says he has the fear of rejection. So later that day, Tim and Jennifer go out to spend some time together. Jennifer says that even though they've been having some trouble, she doesn't want to give up on him. And she wants to build something real. Timothy is really nervous and intimidated by Jennifer, I feel. He's really not comfortable. You can tell. And at times, he can't even look her in her face. Like, he can't even look her in the eyes while expressing certain things. And it took her maybe saying some sweet and kind things for him, but still he seemed very hesitant. Timothy finally kisses Jennifer for the first time. Now, after this kiss, she was all smiles, and so is he. So I need to hear your thoughts on this early premiere, part 1 of 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. This was season 3, episode 8, and the title of this episode was True Colors. Comment down below letting me know your thoughts on each one of these couples. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified on the next time that I make an upload. And I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.